Alright guys, so story time. You ever get around somebody and immediately your spirit, your guts, your intuition say, nope, this is not the person for you? Well, I had that experience today and I want to tell you about it. So Tammy and I went to a local crystal shop today. It's actually a store that's right in our neighborhood and we love it there. They've got a cute little cat named Butterscotch, and he is the cutest little orange and white floof. You will see him on tomorrow's video, or hopefully tomorrow, on Blue Appetite, because that's what we went in there to find. I wanted to do Blue Appetite, and the piece that I had was lost in my car accident. So we had to buy a new one. So we go into this store, and immediately I am drawn to this little cat, and I'm holding him. And he's nuzzled in my ear, and cat vibrations are the best vibrations in my book. So I was focused on his little purr and the fact that he was purring in my ear. Yay. That's my neighbor. He's Ed. That's his little dog, Misty. So anyway, I'm not paying any attention to the people in the store. I am solely focused on this cat and his healing vibrations. And I just started to feel kind of funky, you know? I started to get nauseous. I felt like, I felt like I wanted to throw up, to be honest. That's gross, but I was sweating and I just felt this heaviness. It was terrible. And I noticed that there was a little boy who was running around, and he was just super psyched because there were carved crystal skulls everywhere, and it's Halloween. So can't really get mad at him for that. And I guess this older woman, I was aware of her presence, but I'd never really faced to look at her. That's an airplane. We live really close to a military base, so we get a lot of these. Anyway, so this woman is in there and she's talking to the owner, she's talking to Tammy, and apparently Tammy knows her from, I guess, the gym. And again, I am not focused on any of these people. I am solely wrapped up in this cat. So I'm trying to process these feelings, and they're not going away. They're getting worse. And I'm sweating, and it's gross, and I felt gross. So I went and I found the piece of Blue Appetite that I was looking for, and I told Tammy, honey, we gotta go. I can't deal with this anymore. So we wrap up everything that we were doing, we checked out, we get back in the car, and Tammy tells me this. She apologized to me almost immediately, and I was very confused. She said I should have been paying attention to the energy around you because you are so sensitive. But the lady that was in there, she was talking so negatively about her grandson, and I think that's what you're feeling. And of course, she was right. One of the things that I don't know if you guys noticed, but I end every single one of my meditations with you are blessed, you are loved, you are powerful, and you are more than enough. Because I know that the energy that I put on you, the energy you put on other people, especially children, that is a label that sticks. And if somebody doesn't know how to get rid of that label, it can stick for a long time. So when you talk negatively about somebody, especially a child, you are telling them how to behave. And apparently this woman was saying that her grandson was dark and evil, and I would have lost it. I would have been so upset if I had been paying attention, but my spiritual self was protecting me. So here's how you get rid of that label. Sorry about the end of that last one. My AC kicked in. So we're going to come inside, and I'm going to show you a few ways to cleanse not only your crystals, but yourself and any item that you bring into your house. When I say item, how many of you have ever gone to a secondhand store or a thrift store and purchased something that was previously owned by someone else? Or been gifted something that just feels kind of funky? That's because everything you touch, everything that you bring into your home, it's been handled by other people. And for crystals especially, the people that mine the crystals, the people that cut and polish the crystals, that package and ship. Those things can go through dozens of hands before it gets to you. And all of that energy gets soaked up into a crystal, and by the time it gets to you, it's tired. So we gotta clean it. The first and most common way is to use sage. Now, sage and sweetgrass, these two have been used for generations by the Native American tribes, and a lot of people have moved away from using them because it feels like an appropriation. But I happen to be part Native American, and I'm not using that as a flex, not at all. Tammy is also part Native American, and we grew up understanding and respecting the traditions of our people. So, that being said, I'm going to show you how to use sage. This is traditional dried white sage held together by little pieces of twine. And as you can see, I've already burned this several times. But you're just going to take your lighter and catch it just a little bit. If you're only saging one crystal, you only need to hold this here until you start getting that little plume of smoke. If you want to sage for a longer period of time, or you want to sage your whole house, get one of those torch things, you know, the long ones that you light barbecues with, and use that, because you're going to need to really get that flame into your sage bundle. And you're going to take your crystal, hold on, and you're just going to roll it around in the smoke. Let me get down into the frame. Roll it around in the smoke. Cover every inch of it. And if you're paying attention, you'll feel a difference in the energy. There we go. And once it's done, you set your sage down. And you let your crystal rest for a little bit. Now, I've got this abalone shell, and that is to protect me and my property from any of this sage falling and setting something on fire. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of ash and incense sticks and matches in here just because I want to protect my property. But you'll also see I've got this little piece of sweetgrass. This is another option. Sweetgrass is dried and used to help send up prayers. So if you're meditating on something very specific, or if you have a specific feeling that you want to remove from an item, use sweetgrass. You can find it at all metaphysical shops. You can find it on Amazon. But it's got a very sweet smell. It does not burn for a long period of time. So you literally light it on fire, and within 20 seconds, it's out. Sage, you just gotta watch it, because it can smolder for a long time, especially deep in there, because it's packed so tightly. So just leave it in your abalone shell. I like to set mine in the sink, just in case, and never, ever, ever walk away from burning sage, because I did that one time, and I did it at Tammy's house, and it was smoldering and smoking, and all of a sudden the entire house was just full of smoke. And Monique, she hates the smell of sage. I love it. Tammy loves it. We were so happy. So we just opened the windows and we let the smoke go out, but the smell was still there. Yeah, it was still there about a week and a half later, because we had burned pretty much half of one of these. These should last you about 20 to 30 sagings. So that was a lot. That was intense. Okay, so what happens if you are in a situation where you cannot smoke? Where you can't use smoke? Let me clarify that because that sounded a little. All right, so another way to cleanse yourself, your space, or a crystal is with sound. Now this is my singing bowl. I love this little thing, and it's got a little Buddha in the bottom of it. These things can be brass or they can be crystal, and basically you just hold it like that. You use your little mallet and you hear that? As I'm holding it, my fingertips are vibrating because it's got this beautiful ability to change the vibration of everything around it. So if you can't use smoke, like let's say you're in your parents' house, a dorm, or you're in an apartment with other people, this is a viable option. I actually love this option. The crystal store that we were just in, every time you purchase a crystal, they place it inside of a huge crystal singing bowl, and they play this, I believe it was the heart chakra vibration to cleanse them. So this little sucker has already been cleansed. This is Blue Apatite. This is our next crystal video that I'm gonna do in the next couple days. And this is the reason why we were in the store today, because I had seen this on one of our last trips and I wanted to save up a little money to purchase this. So what you do is you take your crystal, put it inside, take your mallet, and let those beautiful vibrations just wash over the stone. You can do it a couple times. And if this was a felted mallet, meaning if this part was covered in felt, I would let the bowl sing. It does not make a very pretty noise with just a wooden mallet, so I will spare you on that one. But if you don't have a singing bowl, you can clap or you can sing. Anything to change the vibration, anything to send a shockwave of happy, beautiful, high vibration, that will work. All right, and so another way that you can smokelessly clean crystals or items is using clear quartz, selenite, basically any kind of white quartz will help draw out that negativity and clean out your crystals. I love this piece right here. This is a clear quartz geode that I literally will just take a piece and stick it in there. Just leave it there for a day or two. Actually, see that nice little piece of garnet? It's hanging out on a piece of selenite right there. So this, I actually picked this up at Home Goods for, I think, $5, $6. Buying crystals does not have to be an expensive ordeal. But you can use clear quartz, crackle quartz, clear quartz, apophyllite, and those are 2 or 3 pieces of selenite. If it's not big enough, like this is big enough to where I can actually stick a crystal in there and leave it there. If it's not, just take your little, this is a $2 stick of selenite, and just kind of energetically wipe it off. And do that a few times, especially while you're just getting used to the piece. And that's another great way to clear your crystals. Now I know some of you noticed this little ramekin that was full of brown rice sitting off into the corner. This is another way you can do it. This is for smaller items. You don't want to waste a lot of food, but rice and salt are 2 other options if you can't use sound, you can't use smoke. You can use rice, salt, sometimes water. Now, do a little research beforehand. Good rule of thumb, if your crystal flakes when you touch it, or if it ends in ITE, apatite, selenite, malachite, angelite, do not submerge it in water. Use a dry substance. So you're going to take your crystal and you are going to bury it. I also use this for jewelry that I have purchased at a secondhand store. We just cover it up and we let it sit 24 hours minimum, because bitterness and anger, it's sticky. It does not want to come off. And this is spiritual goo gone. You just got to let it, you got to be patient. You got to let it sit. You got to let it clean. But listen to your judgment. Listen and know and believe that you're not crazy. Energy does follow people. It follows things. And you need to protect yourself. You need to be aware of what you're saying, what you're doing, and what you're bringing into your space. So, as we always do, I love this piece right here, so I'm going to hold it while we talk. I want you to close your eyes. I am blessed. I am loved. I am powerful. I am more than enough. Keep your space clean, guys. Keep your mind, body, and spirit free of everything that can bring you down. Vibe high, and I will see you again soon. Hi, ma'am. Hi. What are you doing?